Grilled meat may be feeding cancer after 60. Watch this before you grill again. Are you grilling meat or feeding cancer? That smoky crust, those perfect grill marks, they feel like summer tradition. But after 60, they may be doing more harm than you think. Because when you cook meat over high heat, something dangerous happens. Invisible chemicals form. Ones that quietly damage your cells and may lead to colon, prostate, even pancreatic cancer. Here's the scary part. You won't feel a thing. No fever, no pain. Just one more burger, one more night. Until suddenly, a diagnosis comes too late. And the older you get, the more vulnerable your body becomes. We don't detox like we used to. We don't heal the same way. So before your next barbecue, before you take another bite of that charred steak, watch this video. It may not be the meat that's killing you, it may be the way you cook it. 1. The flavor you grew up with is now fighting your body. You tell me this, if grilling's so dangerous, why did we grow up with it? Sundays in the backyard. The sizzle, the smell, it felt safe, American, and it brought families together. But here's the truth no one warned you about. The very method we trusted to bring joy might now be working against your aging body. When you grill meat, especially over open flames, two dangerous compounds form, HCAs and PHH. These aren't just fancy terms, these are toxins that can damage your DNA, fuel mutations, and raise your risk for colorectal, prostate, and pancreatic cancers. And after 60, your body can't defend itself like it used to. Your immune cells are slower, your gut lining thinner, your detox system weaker. So every extra dose of these toxins lingers longer, doing more harm. You might feel it not as cancer, but as exhaustion. A strange stomachache, a weakened appetite, or worse, nothing at all, until a screening catches it late. It's not just the meat, it's what the heat turns it into. And we're not saying to give it up completely, just start by marinating your meat. Trimming the fat, grilling low and slow, and skipping the blackened crust. That little change might save a lot. If this part surprised you, comment 1 below. And keep watching, because what comes next might be living in your fridge right now. 2. The meat that makes you strong might be weakening your heart. You've always been strong. You carried bags without help, you walked without thinking, you stood tall. But now, something's changed. Your feet swell, your chest feels heavy. Some days you get tired just tying your shoes. And here's a thought that's hard to admit. What if the meat you thought was fueling you is slowly wearing your heart down? Red meat, especially when grilled, releases compounds that may damage your blood vessels, not just from fat, but from chemicals created when fat hits flame. PAHs and HCAs. These can harden your arteries over time, making your heart pump harder, straining your whole system. As we age, our blood vessels naturally stiffen, but add in decades of high heat grilling, it's like adding bricks to an already tired heart. This may not show up as a heart attack today. It shows up as breathlessness after dinner, as that blood pressure pill your doctor keeps adjusting. As another step toward dependence. It doesn't mean you have to give up steak forever, but maybe switch to leaner cuts. Use foil to block the flames. Grill with gas instead of charcoal. Or try baking once a week, because your independence matters more than that smoky flavor. Comment 2 below if you've ever felt those signs: swelling, short breath, fatigue after eating. And in the next part, we'll talk about something even more subtle. Something that starts in your joints and spreads silently. 3. That morning in your knees may not be just age. You used to pop out of bed, a little stretch, and you were up, moving, doing. Now, you sit for a moment, you wait, because your knees feel like stone, your fingers don't quite open all the way. You tell yourself, it's just age. But what if it isn't only that? You see, when meat is grilled, especially to that dark, flavorful crust, something called AGEs form. Advanced glycation end products. Sounds complicated, but here's the simple part. They build up in your body, inflame your tissues, and make your joints ache more than they should. And after 60, your body doesn't clear them out like it used to. These AGEs settle in, they stiffen your muscles, they irritate your nerves. Over time, they don't just affect how you walk, they affect how you feel about walking at all. That's why arthritis seems to sneak up faster in some people than others. Not just genetics, sometimes it's dinner. But there's good news. You don't have to give up grilling completely. A simple marinade, lemon juice, vinegar, herbs can cut AGEs nearly in half. Trimming off the char, lowering the heat, even swapping one meat meal a week for grilled vegetables or fish. Those are small choices that give your joints a fighting chance. So if you felt that tightness in your knees, or that morning stiffness lasting longer than it used to, comment 3 below. And stay with me, because next we're talking about how this goes beyond joints and into your heart. It's what you can't see that's doing the most harm. You check your numbers, blood pressure seems okay, blood sugar's holding steady. You feel like you're doing everything right, but not all danger shows up on a chart. And not all harm feels like pain, at least, not right away. You grill because it's simple, it's familiar, but while you're enjoying that sizzle, something quiet could already be building up inside your body. It starts small. You wake up feeling tired even after a full night's sleep. Maybe your eyes are dry, your mind feels foggy after eating, or there's a dull ache in your side that comes and goes. It's easy to brush off, but these might be early signs your kidneys are struggling, or that your hormones are out of balance. And that's not just aging, that's overload. When you grill meat, especially over high heat, you create compounds called AGEs, HCAs, and PAHs. Your younger body might have filtered those out just fine, but after 60, your kidneys are slower, your detox system weaker. And these compounds don't just pass through, they linger, quietly damaging tissues and organs over time. You don't need to stop grilling forever. Just ease up. Choose leaner cuts. Bake more often. Or swap a meat meal for something like lentil stew or roasted salmon once in a while. Small changes like that, they add up. And if anything in this part made you pause, comment 4 below. Because next we're going even deeper into your memory and what grilled meat might be doing to your brain long before you notice a thing. 5. Grilled meat and memory loss. The link you're not hearing about. You've misplaced things before, forgotten a name, or walked into a room and stood there blank. Maybe it's nothing, maybe it's age, but what if it's something you've been eating for years? Most people don't realize that grilled meat, especially well done, dark, or charred, creates chemical compounds called AGEs. These don't just stiffen joints or raise inflammation. They reach your brain, and slowly, they start to interfere. Studies have shown that AGEs can damage the very pathways your brain uses to think, store memories, recall names, make decisions. And after 60, your ability to clear out these toxins declines. That means every grilled steak, every blackened burger builds up more than it used to. At first, it's subtle. You search for simple words. You lose track of time. You start writing things down more. It doesn't feel like a disease, it just feels off. But that's how it begins, not with a diagnosis, but with small slips that quietly add up. And no one thinks the grill is to blame. You don't need to quit meat, but how you cook it matters. Grilling at lower temps, using acidic marinades, cutting away the blackened edges, these are small changes that may reduce the risk. Because once memory starts to fade, there's no easy way to get it back, and if that scares you a little, it should. If this part made you think differently, comment 5 below. The next risk is even quieter, and it's in the smoke you breathe. 6. You're not eating the smoke, but it's still getting in. You're not the one eating the meat, you're just standing by the grill, keeping an eye on it. Maybe flipping a few pieces. Just a few minutes. Nothing to worry about, right? That's what most people think. But here's the part no one talks about. The smoke from grilling meat can harm you, even if you don't take a single bite. When fat from meat hits the flame, it creates invisible toxins, PAHs, or polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. These stick to the smoke, and every breath you take near that grill brings them into your lungs. And after 60, your lungs aren't filtering like they used to. Your immune defenses are slower. That means these compounds can slip through more easily into your bloodstream, your kidneys, even your brain. Over time, this kind of exposure is linked to higher inflammation, worsened breathing, and in some cases, lung irritation that mimics chronic conditions like COPD or asthma, even in people who never smoked. You won't feel it all at once. It starts as something small, a little more breathlessness after walking, a tightness in your chest after meals, a dry cough that lingers longer than it should. But the damage adds up. So the next time you grill, take a step back, use a fan, grill in open air, keep the lid down, clean the grate. You're not just making food, you're protecting your lungs. If you never realized the smoke could affect your breathing, comment 6 below. Because the last section will show how all of this connects and why grilled meat may be aging you from the inside out. 7. Why grilled meat may be aging you faster than you realize. You still feel young in your mind, but your body tells a different story. The knees are slower, the energy doesn't last, the skin feels thinner, the sleep less restful. You wonder, am I just getting old, or is something speeding it up? Here's what science now suggests. Grilled meat, especially when eaten regularly after 60, may silently accelerate the aging process from the inside out. Each time you grill at high heat, compounds like HCAs, PAHs, and AGEs are formed. You've heard those names by now, but what they actually do is quietly inflame your cells. Not just in your joints or lungs, everywhere. They interfere with how your body repairs itself. They stress your kidneys, they clog your arteries, they stiffen your tissues. They even affect hormone balance and your skin's ability to regenerate. And here's the key. Aging isn't just about time. It's about how well your body can handle stress, repair damage, and bounce back. These grilling byproducts make that harder. They don't cause sharp pain or sudden illness. They just wear you down faster than you should be worn. It's why two people the same age can feel completely different. One still moving, sharp, alive, the other tired, foggy, fragile. So if you're watching this, it's not too late. You don't have to quit grilling, but you can start grilling smarter. Because age is coming either way, the question is, how fast? If this part connected the dots for you, comment 7 below. And now, let's close this out with something hopeful. And here's some disclaimer written in a clear, respectful to you, our dear viewers, and anyone you want to share this to. Before that, if you are still watching our senior health video till here, comment number that spoke to you most on this video. Okay, let's start with this. We need to remind you we're not here to tell you to stop eating the foods you love. We're here to help you understand what's really happening behind the flavors so you can make informed choices for yourself and for those who count on you. Grilling in moderation, using safer techniques, and being mindful of your body's needs can support better aging, but every individual is different. This video is for informational and educational purposes only. The health concerns discussed, such as the risks linked to grilling meat at high temperatures, are based on publicly available research as of April 2025, including data from institutions like the Prevent Cancer Foundation, UCLA Health, and the National Cancer Institute. While studies suggest a connection between grilled meat and increased health risks, particularly in older adults, these effects can vary depending on your overall diet, lifestyle, and personal medical history. This is not a substitute for medical advice. Always speak with your doctor, dietitian, or healthcare provider before making changes to your diet or lifestyle. Especially if you have chronic conditions or are taking medication. You're not getting old, you're getting overexposed. You know, sometimes it's not age that makes us weak. It's the small things, the daily choices we thought were harmless, the foods we loved, the smells of summer, the sizzle on the grill, all those little traditions that quietly took something from us. But now you know more. You don't have to give up everything. You don't have to live in fear. But you do have to pay attention, because grilled meat isn't just a flavor. For many of us, it's been a slow drip of damage. So be kind to your body. Grill smarter, eat cleaner, and move forward with clarity, not guilt. You deserve to enjoy your meals and your memories. If this video opened your eyes even just a little, comment the number that spoke to you most. Share this with someone over 60, someone you love, someone who still thinks the grill is just for fun. And if you believe small changes today can lead to a stronger tomorrow, subscribe to HEALZO, because here, every small tip brings big hope.